Barak Atam Yahweh, Barak Atam Yahweh, Barak Atam Yahweh, Barak Atam YAHAWAHSHI, Barak Atam YAHAWAHSHI, Barak Atam YAHAWAHSHI, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom to all the fervent laborers filled with the zeal pushing the hard across the four corners. Double honors to the elders who helped lay the foundation in these last days. Triple honors to our forefathers, prophets, and the apostles. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Amar Emerald, and we're coming in live from Houston, Texas. It's 8 a.m. It's about 30 degrees, but we're gonna get it in this highway and byway today. And this lesson is gonna be profit to win in the kingdom of YAHAWAHSHI Yahawah instead of this world and this kingdom. So we're not even gonna deal with emotions or feelings. We're not even gonna deal with emotions or feelings. We're just gonna go straight to this word, and we're gonna go straight to this understanding. So we're gonna start with Mark 8:36. Mark 8:36. 4. Excuse me. I'm gonna go to 35. For whosoever will save his own life shall lose it, but whoever shall lose his life for my sake in the Besoras, the same shall save it. So it's saying here clearly in the word that if you're self-seeking, thinking that you're gonna save your own life with either material things or things that's not of the Father, you're gonna lose it. And if you're clinging to the Besor and the Father, then you're clearly gonna have everlasting life. And let's continue. That's 36. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? So if you gain the whole world, you're going to lose your soul. It's saying that plain base. What shall a man gain in this world to lose his own soul? We know that material things will not go into the kingdom of YAHAWAHSHI Yahawah. And we're going to continue on 37. Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? So what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? We see that in the modern day it's materialistic items. It's to be rich, it's to be seen and be heard, and to, have all these things that's not of the Father. So we're going to continue. We're going to go to, and we got a double edged sword. We're going to go to Matthew 16:26. And this proves that this book is a double-edged sword, because it even saying here in Matthew 16:25, for whoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. So again, we're saying here clearly that the Basora is telling us that if you're trying to go with materialistic things or try to find your way as self-seeking or divination, then you're not going to have any everlasting life. You got to give your life to the Father, to YAHAWAHSHI, and to Yahawah, and to the Ruach. You got to be filled with the Ruach. 26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Again, that's the exchanging of the soul. We see that, again, that exchange of the soul is for the materialistic items. These materialistic items is going to burn. It's not going to, it says, again, we're going to let the scriptures talk to themselves, because again, we're not going with feelings. So that's just showing that's a linking precept that in this book, that this book tells us many a times that, again, these materialistic items and these treasures down here is not going to serve us in the kingdom of Yahweh. So again, we're going to go to our next scripture, and that's going to be Job 2:4. anybody that's wondering, I'm reading from the Tifra. And this is when to give context, this is when Shemiyaza, the fallen angel, was talking to Yahawah during the meeting and was concerning upon Job and tricking him. So I'm gonna go to we're gonna start from one and read it. So again, we can create context. Again, there was a day when the sons of Elohayim came to the presence themselves before Yahawah, and Shemiyaza came also among them to present himself before Yahawah. So Shemiyaza, the devil, presented himself in front of the Most High. So they have been in the same room with each other, regardless of what people has to say. This is what churches don't teach us. And Yahawah said unto Shemiyaza, or Satan, from whence come you? And Satan answered Yahawah and said, from going to and fro in the earth, from walking up and down in it. And Yahawah said unto Satan, have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that fears Elohayim and screws evil, which means hate, and still he holds fast his integrity, although you moved me against him to destroy him without cause. So the Most High is basically saying, try my servant Job because he is found to be an upright man, right? And the Shemiyaza answered the Most High and said, and Shemiyaza answered Yahawah and said, skin for skin, yes, all that a man has to give for his life. So that flesh, that giving of that flesh and these materialistic things that we get in this fleshly life, that makes us go back to, you know, trying to follow Satan's will or be conquered by him and not following the Most High, because he know in this flesh, these fleshly bodies, we need these materialistic things that's only here for the now, but it won't serve us in the kingdom. So again, let's move on to our next one. Satan knows that materialistic items are our weakness. So again, that's why we gotta fight bone, you know, not wrestle, but we gotta, you know, move through the Ruach, not to desire these things. So again, we're gonna go to Job 22:2. And it says, can a man be profitable unto El, which is our Elohayim, as he is wise unto profitable unto himself? So basically this script is saying here in Job 22:2, can we be profitable to the Most High as we is to ourselves? Can we go out and cling to the Most High as we cling this world, as we run and want to do these fleshly desires? Do we got that same energy to keep unto the Most High, to give to the Father? Do we got that energy to give back to the Most High? You know, so can we be profitable with the Father as we want to be profitable in this world? Like we want to be rich in this world? Can we be rich in the kingdom? That's what people got to ask themselves. That's what they got to desire. They got to choose to want to be rich in the kingdom over this life. We don't want none in this life, because again, it everything's already been taken. It's already at the end. So again, is, you know, let the heathen have it, you know, and let's get back to the Father. Let's get to these promises that was given unto us, you know. But we're gonna go to our next one. We're gonna go to Psalms 49:17. And it says in Psalms 49:17, For when he dies, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. So the glory that you left upon on this world, on these materialistic things, are not going to follow you in the kingdom, in the afterlife, in the next life. It's not going to follow you. So again, we got to remember that the things that we obtain in this life is not of value to the Father, unless it's His will, unless it's the Most High will, and it, it can be our own ambitions or our own thoughts. Again, it's not important to the Most High unless it's His will. We got to remember that, you know. So again, let's keep it pushing. Our next one is Romans 6:21. Excuse me. And it says, Romans 6:21, what fruit had ye then in those things thereof ye are now ashamed? For the end of those things is death. So again, at the end, when people is getting judged, they're going to realize that some of these things that they have partook in led to death. You know, it led to not the Father's will. And they're going to be ultimately destroyed by that at the end of the day. Because they're going to realize that they were not doing the Father's will. And it's going to ultimately destroy them. And they're going to realize that they was doing things of the death. It says, what fruit? You know, because again, we know that them trees bring forth fruit, whether good or bad. So we're going to go to Malachi 3:14. Excuse me, it's freezing out here. And it says, Malachi 3:14, ye have said it is vain to serve Elohim, and what profit it is that we have guarded his ordinance, that we have walked mournfully before YAHAWAH Tessavah, Lord, which means Lord of hosts. So again, as a Ahkyam or somebody that's fighting for this truth and pushing, that's what you want to tell yourself daily. And it says in 15, and now we are, excuse me, Salah, and now we call the proud happy, yeah, that they work wickedness are set up, yeah, they that tempt Elohim even delivered. Then they that fear Yahweh spoke often one to another, that in Yahweh hearkened, excuse me, and heard it, and a sefer of record was written before him for them that fear Yahweh and that thought upon his name. So again, and that's just saying that, you know, fear is the beginning of coming to the Most High. But again, that's not even to the point where I was really going off topic. But my really point was to say that, you know, you want to say as a Mashiach, it is profitable to serve the Most High, instead of saying that you stored your treasures up within this world. So we're going to move on to the next one. It's going to be Proverbs 14:32. Oh, excuse me, it's like I mean Proverbs 14:12. And it says, Proverbs 14:12, there is a way which seems right unto a man, but the end thereof is the ways of death. So again, if you're following your own self, that self-seeking, that divination, trying to basically, in a sense, say that you saved yourself. Again, storing them treasures up in materialistic things, and saying that you're going to save yourself. That's the ways to death. Those are the ways to death. Again, you're saying that you saved yourself. But again, we know that those materialistic things are not going to save you. The Most High and YAHAWAHSHI is going to save you. And again, them thoughts of a man. A man can think his way is the way, but it's not. It's the Most High way, and it's going to be His will. So again, and we're going to move on to Jeremiah 12:13. 12:13. Jeremiah 12:13. They have sown wheat, but shall reap thorns. They have put themselves to pain, but shall not profit. And they shall be ashamed of your ravines, because they have feared against the anger of Yahweh. So again, people think by going their own way in self divination that they're still good. People think that they're still good, but again, we know that if you're not going the way of the Most High and reading from His Word and fearing Him and trying to understand Him and praying to Him and seeking His knowledge and wisdom, and also of the Ruach and their relationship with YAHAWAHSHI, then that's death. There's just no way around it. The Word is clearly telling us that nothing else besides this Word and being locked in with YAHAWAHSHI, Yahweh, and the Ruach, the Trinity, that there is no way to make it to the kingdom, or at least win in the kingdom. You can make it to the kingdom, but who wants to be shameful in the kingdom? Who wants to be shameful? Who wants to really actually say that, or knew that to be shameful in the kingdom? So again, it's just not going to profit. And again, it's saying that you're thinking that you're planting wheat, but you're not going to sow anything. You're not going to reap anything. You're not going to reap the benefits of anything, of having these materialistic things. So we're going to go to Romans 6. And it says Romans 6:16. That's where we're going to start off. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves service to obey, His servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether to sin unto death or of obedience unto a righteousness. Unto a righteousness. So it's basically saying there that, again, the Most High has laid the foundations before the earth. So again, if you're following, and again, He's making two paths. So again, if you're following unto that righteousness path or that death path, it's already been set. But again, what you're moving through, or what you're putting your value in this life is determining where you're leading to. So again, if you're focused on these materialistic items, then that's where again, it's all to the Father's will. We know that nothing will be taken. In 17, but Elohayam be thanked that ye were servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that formed the doctrine which was delivered you. So again, we thank Yahweh that we was delivered out. Oh, man. We thank Yahweh that we was delivered out of that sin. You know, that we was able to go through that and find out that we wasn't, you know, doing the right things, and then was able to come out. That's how we profit. That's how we profit. And it says here, being then made free from sin, ye became the servants of righteousness. So again, being made from sin, you became a servant of righteousness. Excuse me, and it's going to continue. It's going to speak into what we was talking about. But it says in 19, I speak after the manner of men because of the infirmary of your flesh. For as ye have yielded your members servants to uncleanness, to lawless deeds, unto lawless deeds, even so now yield your members servants to righteousness, unto holiness. So again, that scripture right now is just, again, telling that two divides of whether you're going to do righteousness or you're going to do the wickedness. And it's two sides. It's either two sides to that. And it says 20, for when ye were servants of sin, ye were free from righteousness. So again, when we were servants of sin, we were free from righteousness because we didn't know righteousness. And it says, what fruit had ye then in those things thereof ye are now ashamed, for the end of those things is death. Again, we see that again, that end of death in those things. Again, and it's saying to be ashamed. We are ashamed of those things that we were doing before. We know what we was doing. So again, when we know what we was doing, we was correct, we be ashamed of what we did, and then we repented. So we become, you know, workers of righteousness, or try to become on that path. And we're going to go to Proverbs 1 and 31. And it says, Proverbs 1 and 31, therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. So again, in these end days, the Most High is going to let a lot of people be filled with their own devices of these materialistic things, whether that be from clothes, shoes, games, drugs, a lot of things. A lot of things. A lot of people will succumb to their own devices. So again, we gotta realize that we gotta come back to the Father's will. If it's not of the Father's will and it's some materialistic, then it's a way that can lead us to death. A way that's not gonna lead to profit in the kingdom. Our next precept is gonna be Luke 17 and 33. And it says in Luke 17 and 33, whoever shall seek his own life shall lose it, and whoever shall lose they be trying to cut off the work. That's why they be calling me. Be trying to cut off the work. But again, we see that